everyone, back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the Rumour Has It video. We're talking about players linked to the football club this coming summer. It's going to be a big window of the summer for sure. There's money to be spent, players to be moved on as well. We're going to get stuck right into this latest target, who's the second target from the article in the Daily Mail by Simon Jones, talking about Newcastle's search for a right winger. And the club have actually come out and said, apparently so, if you believe the links and the stories, that Miguel Almiron has been told he has no future at the club. So it looks like the right-hand side is definitely where we're going to be shopping this summer. So these players we're going to cover definitely fit that bill, and they are some quality players, including this lad here. But there is a but with this as well. Injury history. You know who I'm going to talk about. I'm going to get stuck into this in a second. Just before we do, a little reminder, if you haven't already, smash subscribe. We'd love you to come and join us. We're over 7,500 subs. Loads of room for you and evermore. All free content. If you want to give a little back to the channel, there is a members option down there. You get early access to the transfer link videos like this, as well as the odd rant. Nothing's really flicked my switch recently, but there will be something soon. I'm pretty sure about that. So keep your eyes peeled for a rant. And if you remember, you'll get it a bit earlier than everybody else. So let's get stuck in. And who am I talking about? As I said, this article came out predominantly saying that we were going to reignite our interest in Michael Olise, who's been in serious form recently, demolishing Manchester United, helping us out in our bid for sixth place in the league. Cheers for that, Michael. But he is being linked to the football club, as well as a couple of other targets. And we're going to talk about this lad here. We've already talked about him already. So I think he is a long-term target for the club, but there is concerns over his injury history. And it's this lad right here, Pedro Neto. I don't really need to go through what this lad is all about in terms of a footballer. We've seen him in the Premier League over the last few seasons. He is a quality player. When he's fit, which is a when he's fit, he brings pace, he brings guile, he brings movement. He's got technical ability. He can cross a ball, he can finish, he can thread a ball through the eye of the needle, he can run on behind the defence, he can score goals. He is a top quality player. But injuries have plagued him over the last few seasons. He's actually missed nigh on 100 games combined for club and country over the last 3 years, which is a massive number. And I think this might put Newcastle United off the player, and also dependent on what Wolves want for him. There was talk back in February that Wolves were going to sell him to bank some money into the FFP and PSR. It's still shocking that clubs have got to sell their best players to do that. But you always felt with Pedro Neto that next summer was going to be the time he left, and he, with all due respect to Wolves, he stepped up to a bigger club. You know, Arsenal have been repeatedly linked to him, but they've kind of faded away a little bit into the background. They may still be interested in him, depending on who they buy in the summer, and obviously what price Wolves are looking for. I think Wolves will be looking for probably closer to 50 million quid for Pedro Neto. You can see his contract expires in June 2027, so they can command a fee for him, and I think they will try and command a fee from him. He's only 24 years old. Top quality players. Only had 5 caps for Portugal, but that Portugal squad is unreal, to be fair. Bernardo Silva, Ronaldo still scoring goals. You know, just to name but two, Bruno Fernandes to name another, even though he's a knob, still a good player. So it is hard to break into that squad. But in terms of a Premier League player, Neto has been the scourge of Premier League defenders for seasons now. And everybody who looks at him goes, that's a player. But the big worry is the injury history. It really, really is. But let's look at his stats and how he compares against Miguel Almiron on the other side. You can see Miggy does get ahead of him in terms of goals, because he's only got 2 goals this season, Neto, and 9 assists. You can see overall for Wolves, he's got 131 appearances, 13 goals and 21 assists. That's a lot more assists than Miguel Almiron's probably got, I would say. I put my hat on that probably. But in terms of goal creating chances and shots and XGs, Miggy is higher. Shot creation chances and pass completions, they're kind of thereabouts. Assists, Neto is much higher in that regard for assists, because he can create a lot more. He's got a great delivery as well with his right peg. You know, he could be an alternative option to maybe Trippier on set pieces, but Anthony Gordon's been brilliant at set pieces since Trippier's been out. But looking at the stats there, you can see goals, he's kind of in the lower percentile this season, mainly because he's just been injured quite a lot as well. XG, marginally higher. Goals to shot ratio, quite low. Shots, again, kind of under halfway in terms of percentages. But assists, he's right up in the high 90s. Expected assists in the high 90s. Goal creation chances, he's in the high 90s. Carries into the area and progressive carries in the high 90s. This boy can run with the ball. There's no doubt about that. And outside of Joe Willock, really, we don't have any other players that get the ball and charge up the field. Isak can do it when he drops deep, but you want Isak to be the one on the end of a pass, not the one who's carrying it from deep. And my worries with Willock's injury concerns are possibly worse than Pedro Neto's. Willock seems to be on this injury train. I don't know when he's going to get off. I really hope that next season we see a fully fit Joe Willock. But Elliot Anderson can carry the ball as well. Joe Linton can carry the ball. Joe Linton's had bad injury problems this season as well. But that's the risk with Neto. Do you bring him in and does he break down again? Does he get injured? and then he misses massive chunks of games, and you've outlaid 50 million quid on the kid, and he barely plays. That is the big concern. But there's no doubt when he's fit, if Pedro Neto had been fit for, say, 27 games or 30 games this season, these stats would probably all be in the greens. There's no doubt about that, because he is a top player. But the injury concerns are definitely there. I mean, looking at some of his injury history there, again, there's over 100 games combined missed. But if you look at this season, 11 games missed with a hamstring injury. Season before, 9 games missed. And then season before that, 27 games missed for club and country with an ankle injury. And then a knee injury, 52 games missed, which was a big one for him back in 2021. But progressively, year on year, he's had injury problems. And you find that with speedy players like Neto, and even going back to likes of Michael Owen and stuff, with the hamstring injuries, players who have that searing pace can get hurt. I mean, the recovery processes are a lot better now than they used to be, but maybe that's the reason why Neto's been hurt so much over the years. But he's a hell of a player. But is it too big of a gamble? Let us know in the comments below, guys, what you think about Pedro Neto. For 50 million quid, would you take the gamble? Is he that good? Is he worth it? Or would you rather see the money spent on a player who's maybe going to be fitter for longer? As I mentioned at the start, if you like what you see, smash subscribe, guys. Come and join us. We're over 7,500 subs. Loads of room for you, never more. All free. But if you want to support us, there is an option down there to be a member. Like the video, help the channel grow. There's also a WhatsApp channel down there that Mark has set up for you too, which just has some, bits of interaction you can view and check. We might even bang some articles in there. I might break out the old writing pen again and blow some dust off of it for anybody who read my stuff when I used to write for a fanzine, True Faith it was. So yeah, we might do that again. You never know. So keep your eyes peeled. Smash which option suits you best, guys. Have a cracking day. We'll be back with some more transfer banter soon. See you later. Cheers.